Before you start anything at all, make sure your replacement part looks like this. If your replacement part doesn't look like this, then you've got the wrong part. These are the tools that you need. Pause and take a screenshot if you need to collect them. Step one, use a panel popper. There's about 30 of these. You've got them here, 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 and here. Pull them out. You will probably destroy some of them. I'll put a link in the description for some replacements. Take this panel off, set it aside. Next thing we got to do, we got to pull the cover off the fuse box here. And this is the area we're going to be in for probably the rest of the time we're working on this thing. This fuse box has two 10 millimeters holding it in, and then a 13 millimeter right here that holds the power lug on. Pull the 13 millimeter, pull the power lug. There should be two wires here, two power wires here. Pull them off, set them off to the side. Get your 10 millimeter, pull these two out. These two nuts here, don't pull them all the way out. Pull them out till they stop turning easily. They actually don't come out of the fuse box. They hold the connectors into the fuse box. There's a bunch of little clips. Get a medium-sized flat blade screwdriver and pry the clips out. I'll show you those a little bit better here in just a second. I'm gonna walk these out a little bit more as the fuse box comes out. Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just 7. 7 individual clips that you've got to pull off here. 2 of them are right here, which is right where this is. It's kind of hard to get to. I did have to bend this out of the way a little bit to get them at it. But these don't come out here. They just secure the actual connectors on the back here. So when they stop turning, stop moving them, because if you pull them out, you can damage them. So turn them till they get a little stiff. Raise up on the fuse box as you're pulling those. Pull it all out at once. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to set this back down. Be careful with this. Don't drop it. There's lots of little electronics in there. If you drop it too harshly, you can break it. So don't do that. We're going to pull our engine cover, get a little bit more room here. Pull the oil fill cap and the engine cover. I like to put the oil fill cap back on so nothing gets down in the crankcase. Get our fuse box set off to the side here. Our next step, we've got to get everything here out of the way so we can get this box out. I'm actually going to move this coolant reservoir. You probably don't have to, but I'm going to. Looks like just these two 10 millimeter bolts. And make sure this is sitting upright. If it sits at a weird angle, it will leak everything out. Okay, I just need to pull this thing off. There's some more clips. We're going to use our flathead again. Okay, there is a similar number of annoying clips on this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on that. These here, you want to pry them outwards. So stick your flathead in there and pry them outwards to pull them up. And just again, work your way around slowly. This is all plastic and it's probably quite brittle, so be careful. All right, now we have to get this mount out. There is a connector right here that is stuck on there. We're just going to try to pop it up off of there. There we go. And there's another one right over here. I am actually going to disconnect these connectors. If you're worried about remembering them, you can put dots with a Sharpie, or you can put tape. If you have differently colored, like duct tape or something, put one kind of tape on one end of the connector, the other kind of tape on the other end of the connector. These are going to be hard to mix up, so I'm not really worried about it. Now when you're pulling on connectors, make sure you're not pulling on the wires, pull on the actual connector themselves. These are just held in by a little plastic clip in there. So if you pull on just the wires, you can really easily depin these the wrong way, then you're never going to fix that. All right. Now these connectors too, you push down on this tab, it's the same on both of these. Push down on this tab. It can be really stiff. It's also a good idea to try to push the connector back together while you do that. It can help it release, especially if it's been sitting for a long time. All right, we're gonna get these 10s out of here. Okay. That comes right out, no problem. Just the 3 10mm fasteners. You've got 2 nuts here, one here, and then a bolt right here. So we have made it into the part we're trying to replace. So now I just need 2 15s. Yeah, we can. Should be able to just kind of twist this out. And there we go. And you can see that this one here is actually fully broken right there. Okay, an important note when you're getting that out. So while you're removing it, there's actually a notch right here on the back side. You really can't see it. You can see a little bit there. This notch right here will actually clearance this part of the mount. So if you don't get that part through that notch, you won't get it out properly. So make sure that goes in there in that spot. All right. So you get the front part in there first, and then the back part should be able to slide in after. Now the short 15 goes on the car side, the long 15 goes on the engine side. So long 15 on this side, short 15 on this side. Started a couple threads, make sure you can't pull it out anymore, and then start the other one. Don't tighten either one down until you have them both started. Make sure you get these nice and tight. They're big bolts, you're probably not going to break them. So just give them a good crank. Try to get them as tight at least as they felt when they were coming off. All right, now we go back to reassembly. Just make sure you put everything back in the order you took it out in. And make sure you don't have any bolts left over in your parts tray when you're done. One thing that's important, make sure this harness goes back through that gap before you put this piece back on. Otherwise, you'll have to take this piece back off to get it all lined up properly. Just be mindful of all your connectors if you've disconnected them. Also try to make sure they don't get trapped or pinched under anything, because again, you're gonna have to take it back apart again to fix it. Same as the motor mount, make sure you get all of the nuts or bolts started before you tighten any of them down. And these do not need to be tight. Just get them snug, give them another little quarter turn, and then that's good enough. These aren't holding any real weight or load, or they're not sealing anything, and the studs are really, really thin, so you can easily break them if you try too hard. So get them snugged all the way down to where they stop, and then just a little bit more, and you're good. We're going to put our plastic panel back on here. Actually, we need to reconnect these connectors because they were sitting in certain holes. So we're going to stick them back in their holes and get them plugged back in. Just these 2 smaller connectors here. We're not worried about the bigger ones just yet. And it can help too to plug them in first before you try to stick them back in the little retaining pins. If those retainers break, not a huge deal. These may not make any noise when they seat in, but you shouldn't be able to pull it back up once they're clipped in. So make sure you got a solid positive lock on it and you're all set. These connectors, they have a special slot that they fit in. Get them in their slot, make sure they're seated all the way down, and they should be fine. Make sure these here aren't stuck under anything. Set our fuse box back in. Looks like our customer here's got some other thing wired in here. So just make sure that's not pinched or held in some weird way. All right, we're set back on, and we're gonna do these 10s. Now these, again, just like you were careful taking them out, careful putting them back in, because they are gonna grab on the sockets and hold the sockets in, but it's just a piece of thread that's held in a plastic connector. And that piece of plastic is the same temperature as everything else in the car, in the engine bay rather, and the same age as everything else in the car. So it can be really easy to break if you are not careful. So yeah, these, just be very careful with them. We'll throw our main lugs back here. You've got the one here that's got the shorter bend. That goes on first. You got the one here with the longer bend. That's going to go on second. And then you got your 13 locking nut right there. All right, that one, get it, you know, decently tight, but not too tight. Okay, we're going to put our coolant reservoir back. We kind of messed up the order there just a little bit. You're supposed to put that back in before we put the fuse box back on, but I think we're going to be okay. And we've got our 210s to hold that back in place. Same as before, whenever you got multiple bolts on one part, make sure you can get them all started before you tighten any one down. And these, you can give them a good little crank. I wouldn't tighten them down too much, but you can get them a little tightened down. It should be okay. And we can throw our cover back on here. Okay, and we can throw our little latch mechanism here back on. Covers up the positive battery cable. Pull our oil fill back off. Throw our engine cover back on. Little dust shield thing back on, which honestly we probably didn't have to remove, but it does make everything a little nicer to reach. And then we'll put our push pins back in as best we can. Now, if you don't want to buy replacements, like I don't, you just put back in the ones you can. Try to put them in the corners if you can. Kind of like some of the other fasteners on this. This isn't sealing anything at all. It's not holding anything structural. It's just a beauty panel. All right, we're gonna make sure we get all of our tools out of the engine bay. And then we're gonna just give it a quick rev test just to make sure that the movement of the engine's fixed now.
There is still quite a significant amount of engine movement here, but our customer didn't want to replace all of the bottom mounts. They just wanted to replace the one on the top. So you're going to have that if your bottom mounts are blown out as well. I would recommend doing everything all at once. You're going to take some lifespan out of this torque arm if you replace just the torque arm, but that's what the customer wanted, so that's what we did. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. If this helped you, then post a comment and let me know. Thanks. Bye.